Welcome back to River City Girls 2. So, we fixed all the generators. We recruited Obobo to be our summon for the moment. So, we're back to Williams to complete the task.
Oh, Abobo's one of the special, recruits. Okay.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, you can see his little face by Misako up there.
Yep. What about the other Abobos?
Nope, just Obobo.
Just Abobo. Okay. That's unfortunate.
So, I forget how those summons work in this game. Don't they follow you around and punch people for you?
No, they come in and do a special move and then they leave.
Yeah, they're basically Marvel versus Capcom tag attacks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they have little health bars because enemies can actually punch them while they're on screen, which can be good for you because they can draw aggro off of you.
Well, that's another aspect of the Marvel versus Capcom tag attack things, is that those could be interrupted by smacking the partner character before they could get their attack off.
Yeah.
Oof.
Also, I think it's a different time of day.
It's daytime now, yeah.
Yeah, the lighting changes.
I'm really distracted by those flat-colored cartoon dogs in the corner. I don't know.
It was their plan all along. Draw your attention.
Oof. Okay. So all of these food trucks are packed in really tight. How is anyone in that mess going to pull out when they need to leave?
Good question.
That's Future Them's problem.
I like how there's a food truck with Japanese comfort food written on it with this anime girl on it, and the guy who's running it has the most I should be working in an Italian restaurant mustache going on. Is you can just
Times
tell.
Are hard, man.
You can just tell that guy missed his calling.
Maybe it's a fusion place. I actually had an amazing
Italian Japanese fusion, huh?
I had a spaghetti green curry once that was absolutely fantastic.
Well, culinary shit is complicated enough that I would believe that there is an Italian Japanese fusion that works. I just don't think you would find it
In
around.
a food truck.
I don't think you would find it here, is the thing. And definitely not in a food truck, no.
My first thought is, just ramen with tomato sauce on it, which sounds absolutely
Well,
horrid.
I mean, you say that, but some people will use instant ramen as substitute spaghetti. It's actually not that hard.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, the big, anime ramen, the one Goku goes...
Some people will use angel hair spaghetti as substitute ramen. It's kind of it's one of those things that works, Yeah,
but it's kind of like using a hamburger bun for a peanut butter sandwich. Just feels wrong.
Not as much as you would think, because the noodles are actually not as important to the eating experience of ramen as you would think.
Well, for me, I really like the really thick noodles, so especially in ramen. So if
but you can get thicker spaghetti pasta and use that as substitute ramen too. It's it works.
I also really for normal spaghetti as well. Not what I mean, but
I actually watched a couple of videos. I forget the channel name, but they were hey, here you can make real ramen with Walmart ingredients, and it was all stuff you buy this specific kind of pasta and it's a good stand-in for ramen noodles, and here's some good ingredients and here's how you make them. It was interesting, if nothing else. I haven't tried it yet, but it looks like it could work. Visually, I look at the result and I'm if you didn't tell me this was made with store-bought spaghetti pasta, I would not have guessed.
I like how the guy protests to Moby, but not to little kid.
Listen, some things you just can't. You just gotta let go.
Who's scruffy looking?
I forgot that store was called Book Bistro. That is simultaneously the most amazing bookstore name I've ever seen and the most nonsense one.
Well, the thing is, you can actually eat them. And they give you stat buffs for doing so. And I feel like Kyoko probably would just eat a book if it looked tasty enough.
It also makes me think that someone maybe opened a bookstore restaurant hybrid which is not the most out of the world thing that you could think of, because like
there's definitely bookstore cafe hybrids.
well yeah like even Barnes and Noble sometimes has like a cafe in the middle that you can just buy.
Yeah, that sounds kind of awesome actually.
Yeah, it's very relaxing. You just have to make sure to buy the books before you go eat while reading them. Otherwise, you break it, you buy it. So, let's see. The lightsaber is definitely classified as a toy, right?
Yep.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, the lightsaber, the bike, the yo-yo are all toys. The sports is like the baseball and the baseball bat, the volleyball. Constructions like shovels and...
Wait. You have to eat the book to get the stat boost.
Yes. So you need to get 2 of them if you want the buff.
You
eat one to get the stat boost and you hold the other one in inventory.
You have to eat the books for completionism. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
That's honestly like a really neat tension that they put into the design, though. Is that I
accidentally went to the store again.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it just means that you have to buy them twice, so I wouldn't call it tension. But
well, if you're stuff in this game's expensive, so like you don't want to buy it twice is the thing. So like you have to think about how long do you hold on to it the first time until you take the stat boosts.
We're definitely richer than the last time we came here, so I think this is when we actually start getting some of these items. I think I actually have the toy book now, and that bike will not break.
I like how, like, when the enemies fall into the pit and they die, the money spawns over the pit where you can't possibly get it.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. They should have like a homing thing where you get the money anyway, because pit kills are always satisfying.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, I still have the bike.
They still have this annoying cage fence in front of this area from the first game. I did not like it there, and I don't like it here either. It's too much of a visual obstruction, to be honest.
It's kind of neat for one map, though. I don't think they'd overdo it.
Yeah, I suppose. I guess I just kind of wish, I don't know. There were more holes in the fence so you could see more going on, maybe. I like the idea of having a fence there to block you off from a bottomless pit. It's a nice bit of scenery. I'm not sure I'm on board with the result. Ah, Marion. I see. This is where we fight her.
Yep, the other recruitable character.
So, whose name is hers spray painting over from the first game, I assume?
I think it's a Bobo, actually. Bobo was down here in the first game.
Now that like the camera's semi-positioned where I can see it, yeah, it's definitely a Bobo's name.
Yep, lock screen.
Did Kyoko just teleport in on her phone? And
yes.
There's a special animation for that. I like that.
Yeah, whenever a character is pulled in from off screen due to a lock situation, they kind of teleport in with their phone.
What's with the cat?
And yeah, the bike's really cool because it can hit enemies while they're down.
There's a cat.
Whereas normally you have to wait. Oh, yep.
That's part of a side quest.
Yeah, the collectible cats.
I remember you stopped me to go get it.
Well, you have to get all the cats.
We got the cat.
Who's playing who, just for the record?
I am Misako.
Okay.
It really fits because Ryan was like constantly focused on like the next objective and getting things done and taking things seriously. And I was like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. What's this? What's
and is this your guys' first playthrough of the game?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Ryan like invited me like on the day of, so I had no idea what I was getting into. I did eventually go back and play the game later by myself, like a month later. But I think at this stage, I was still like completely blind playthrough.
All right.
Here we go.
It's time for the legendary abs.
Unfortunately, you drop your items for the bosses, so I couldn't whack her with a bicycle.
Yeah. That's unfortunate because it means you can't take stuff like the lightsaber into the boss battle.
which would be so cool.
I think I had to mod the ability to keep items for bosses into the first game when I played that.
Oh, you modded that in? That's awesome.
Yeah. I just, like, installed a couple of quality of life mods. The checklist for the food items. The mod to keep your weapon when you enter a boss fight, because I don't really like that.
Well, the first game ends with a sword fight against Sabuko, right? So being able to take a lightsaber in there is freaking awesome.
Yeah. I guess they just wanted to keep the bosses balanced, I guess, so they didn't let you keep weapons, but it's so freaking weird because there's a room, like, with every weapon you can get imaginable in the game right before the final boss, and it's just like, why is this here if I can't use them?
Yeah.
I do like Marion with her Super Saiyan 3 hair.
Is it, it's not real Super Saiyan 3 unless they lose their eyebrows, though.
True. Super Saiyan 2.5.
Don't give Dragon Ball any more ideas, all right?
Look, it's like another alternate universe demigod took over Kefla's body and created Super Saiyan White Rose.
Yeah, I think this is the first boss we fought where we actually, like, had healing items going in and didn't have all that bad of leg. Really getting into our...
It was really just that one boss that was a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Marion's actually a really cool character. I played her primarily in my solo game. She has a really cool moveset, really beats the snot out of everybody.
She is fun. It's also hilarious that this character exists as a playable one, mostly because people saw her image in one of the shops in the first game, and they were like, oh, she's cool. Yeah, I want to play as her.
Yeah, I think Misako and Kyoko even mentioned, it's like, hey, weren't you a shop lady earlier? Why are you a boss in the sewer now?
They basically just echo the fan response to the character design.
I mean, half the dialogue...
Abs,
yeah,
so.
yeah, legendary abs, indeed. And she's also from Double Dragon, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's the girlfriend who gets kidnapped, usually by getting punched in the gut, which is why she worked on her abs.
That's one way to do it.
Listen, a few dozen punches to the gut will make you reevaluate a few things, you know?
Yeah. It's just, it is both hilarious and a valid character progression arc, so...
Yeah, it's really cool what they did with her in this game.
It's also just nice in that it's somewhat played straight and also somewhat of a parody of the situation at the same time, in that, it is a reasonable thing for somebody to, like, to responding to that kind of event is, in that kind of way, makes a lot of sense, but it also is just making fun of the fact that, like, Double Dragon just doesn't really have a story.
It's kind of a massive cliches, yes.
Yeah, I feel these games do a really good job with that, of, like, kind of striking a balance between, like, homages to the originals, but also cool new stuff and new takes on things.
Well, it's also the kind of joke that you can enjoy because it's good natured,
Right, yeah, it's not super snarky or, that just happened, sort of,
It's not like Dante looking in a mirror when a white wig lands on his head by complete coincidence and saying not in a million years, like
It's
the old
not
character's
making fun
not
of you
cool.
for liking the original game.
Yes,
I think
is the
Yeah.
thing. This is actually a hilarious punchline for people who have stuck with the series for long enough to get it. Is the thing. Okay, so I'm not a big fan of the platforming bit where you're just kind of like dodging barrels for like a full minute. This goes on a bit too long for my taste. But one thing I will point out that Ryan only just now noticed as I was about to say it is that you can just jump straight up and avoid the barrel. You don't have to platform back and forth. The game wants you to think you have to, but you don't have to.
How much harder is the timing for that, though?
Not really. It's just like as long as you're not on the ground when the barrel lands, you'll be fine.
K-O-O-O-O-O.
What's going on?
That is some good animation where they just shift the arms back and forth by a single pixel so that she's shaking.
Yeah.
Are you okay, Miss Marion Kelly? You didn't.
Oh yeah, by the way, this game involves mind control technology.
Well, wizardry, but yeah.
Technology, wizardry,
Sorry for kicking you in the head.
magitech.
Tech wizardry.
It's magical technology.
Sufficiently de-optimized technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Oh, there we go.
I'm not sure. It's still kind of a blur. Maybe start at the beginning? But like the beginning of this story, not your.
That is a direct dig at a certain character from the previous game who started his backstory from his childhood when asked.
It all began 20 years ago.
It's Bimmy and Jimmy.
I like the implication that she's just both of their girlfriend. She's actually like using her phone while she's being carried off. That's hilarious.
And waiting. For one adventure, I got sick of getting punched in the gut, sick of getting kidnapped, and sick of waiting.
So this is basically what would happen if Princess Peach just got fed up with the universe.
Yep.
Yep. Starts going to the gym, just gets super buff.
Without a damsel in distress to rescue.
I want to
Beats
see
Bowser
that.
herself.
I want to see that alternate universe version of Peach cross over into the actual mainline version, and just see how Canon Peach would react to it, because that just looks like it would be a hilarious moment.
The closest we've got currently is Peach going back to her drama club days. So,
Wait,
not
is that
sure how,
is
yeah,
that
that's pretty-
Showtime?
yeah, Showtime is her in like different.
I'm curious about that game, to be honest. The
I
only
tried
reason I
the
haven't.
demo. I wasn't like huge on it, but it didn't seem bad.
It's for young kids, so it's
Yeah,
about what you expect.
it's like it seemed kind of like
The next thing I knew,
like a step below Kirby, I guess is the in simplicity's terms. Like simpler than Kirby, I would say. And it certainly has like a lot of flash elements to it that are really cool, like all the transformations and whatnot, and the game is legitimately very good looking. I just personally didn't find a lot of substance from the little bit that I played. But it's like, it's certainly polished and well made, and good. It certainly could get more involved later on as well. I only played it like for 20 minutes, so.
I haven't tried it because I don't have a Switch at the moment, so. But
I would say wait till it goes on sale, but this is
it's a Nintendo,
so you know, good luck on that.
well, I mean, used.
give this a shot.
I mean, even still, like used Nintendo games are still pretty pricey.
Mostly,
Yeah, dude.
mostly just the main series ones, though. Like I see the spin-offs going down in price used.
Let me check how
fairly
much
often.
Yoshi's Crafted World is used. Because that's like a game that's like, So, you know, it's not something that. Oh yeah, geez. Like Yoshi's Crafted World is like still like 30 or 40 bucks used. And that's like not a game I would recommend buying for 40
Yeah, that
bucks.
sounds about right.
I would if you could get that game for 10, maybe I would pick it up. But
Right, you know, Nintendo's not like Steam. They don't have big sales all the time, and you know, games that are super cheap 5 years after they came out.
yeah, it's also the thing, like maybe like a whole console generation after, they might be cheaper for a minute until they're considered retro ahead of schedule, and then you can't
And
get it
Nintendo
anymore.
Nintendo shuts down the online store, so you can't get it.
I'm still
Digitally.
really, really salty about how quick DS and 3DS games jumped up on used prices. Not a fan of that.
I really wish Nintendo had just gone with the PlayStation 3 solution and, just, made it so you had to put money on your account through the website so that stayed secure.
I mean, I get why they closed it down. Keeping a server up for a shop that almost nobody is going to be using is a massive money sink. So like from a capitalist society perspective, I get why it needed to be, why they wanted it shut down.
It's not as big a money sink as you would expect because they can just combine that server with another server that they're using more actively. But like
I mean, this is Nintendo. I'm not sure they know how to do that.
The real like money sink is supporting the service, which is why Sony just stopped actually bothering to do anything with the PlayStation 3 store that involves security. You have to do the security stuff through the platforms that they actually support. And then you go back on your PlayStation 3 and you use your money there. It's a basic, simple solution. It's straightforward, and they can just host the games on whatever server they're using for the PlayStation 5 or whatever. That works. It's fine. It's good. It's a straightforward solution. Nintendo, however, has consistently not understood how the internet works since the internet became a thing. So
yeah, I mean, there might be more to it, like licensing rights, like how long they're able to sell certain and legal things. I know that there's other details to it.
The thing is, when licensing rights come up as a thing on a digital retail platform, the only thing that they're obligated to do is delist the game from new purchases. They don't even have to stop you from downloading it if you bought it previously. I'm pretty sure I can still download my my PlayStation 3 version of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World if I'm willing to take the 3 hours it takes to scroll down my download history.
So you can still buy things. You can still not buy things. You can still re-download games that you have purchased on Wii U and 3DS. Is important to note. If you forgot and you're like, oh shit, I had deleted a whole bunch of stuff for space. Are all those games gone? They're not gone. You can still, as of the time of this recording right now, you can still go on and re-download stuff that you've purchased. You just cannot purchase any new things.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If they're keeping it like that, then they already are hosting the server that holds all that shit. So
and I would like to point. I get you. I'd like to point out that I'm not advocating in Nintendo's defense for putting it down. Like, I think that ultimately speaking, Nintendo's a multi-billion-dollar corporation and could tank the probably only couple of honestly, it probably takes less than $1 million a year to keep the Wii U eShop open. They can afford to do it. I'm not saying that they should keep it down. I'm just saying it's understandable why they would want to. It's not this unheard thing, but the part's also been done for like 4 minutes, so I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, well, my point is just that like the fact that you can still download that stuff means that they have the framework in place to do the Sony solution if they wanted to. They just didn't for some reason.